So what is Candida species? Candida species is a type of yeast. It's the same family as the yeast used to make bread rise. But before you start imagining tiny loaves of bread in your body, let's clarify. Is Candida species a yeast infection? In short, it can be. While Candida naturally exists in our bodies, problems arise when there's an overgrowth. This overgrowth can lead to infections, most commonly known as yeast infections. To understand Candida species biology, think of it as a tenant in the apartment complex of your body. When everything's balanced, Candida is a quiet, unnoticeable neighbor. But when it starts to multiply uncontrollably, it can become that noisy neighbor keeping you up at night. Candida is not just a one-size-fits-all kind of yeast. In fact, it's a bit like the ice cream section at your favorite store. There are more flavors, or in this case, species, than you might expect. Let's dive deeper into some of the most common types and what makes each of them unique. Candida albicans is like the popular kid in school. This is the most common species you'll hear about. If Candida species were high school students, albicans would be the prom king or queen. It's often the culprit behind yeast infections, oral thrush, and other common fungal issues. Quirky fact, while it's a common troublemaker, it's also a natural resident of our bodies and usually doesn't cause problems unless it starts to overgrow. Candida glabrata is the sneaky one. Glabrata is like the stealthy ninja of the Candida world. It's less common than albicans, but can be trickier to treat because it's often resistant to typical antifungal treatments. Favorite spot to hang out is the urinary tract, but it can also make appearances in the mouth and private area. Did you know? Its resistance to treatments means doctors sometimes have to get creative with solutions. Candida tropicalis is the traveler of the Candida world. Tropicalis loves warm, tropical climates. If it were a person, it'd be the one posting beach photos year-round on social media. Common hangouts are blood, urinary tract, and sometimes the respiratory system. Fun fact, it's a significant cause of bloodstream infections, especially in hospital settings in tropical regions. While all these Candida species come from the same family, they each have their own personalities and quirks. It's essential to know which one you're dealing with, as treatments and implications can vary. Think of them as siblings, related, but each with their own distinct traits and tendencies. Ever wondered what Candida species on a pap smear? Let me share a story. A friend of mine once called me panicked after her pap smear results mentioned Candida. She thought it was something serious. But here's the thing. A pap smear can detect the presence of yeast cells, which might indicate an overgrowth of Candida. It's just one of the ways doctors keep an eye on your health down there. Being told you're Candida species positive can initially be a bit startling. Imagine you've been living in a quiet neighborhood, and suddenly, you discover that the house next door isn't just home to a noisy neighbor, but they're also throwing nightly parties. That's Candida for you when it decides to overgrow. Why should you care? An overgrowth of Candida can lead to a variety of symptoms, from fatigue and digestive issues to recurrent yeast infections. It's like that noisy neighbor playing different genres of loud music every night. Candida is more common than you think. Many people have Candida in their system without even realizing it. It's only when the balance is thrown off that the symptoms start to appear. It's not just a women's issue. While women often hear about it in the context of yeast infections, men aren't off the hook. 3. Candida can affect anyone, regardless of gender. When it comes to treating Candida, think of it as trying to restore peace and quiet in your neighborhood. You want to reduce the noise, or in this case the yeast, without causing a ruckus. Antifungal medications are the most common treatments. They work by directly targeting the Candida cells. It's like sending in the police to shut down the party. Probiotics are beneficial bacteria that can help restore the natural balance in your body. Think of them as the friendly neighbors who start organizing community events to drown out the noisy parties. Dietary changes can also be beneficial. Some believe that a diet low in sugar and refined carbs can help reduce Candida overgrowth. It's like not supplying the party with snacks and drinks, making it less appealing. Natural remedies. Some folks swear by natural remedies like garlic, coconut oil, or tea tree oil. However, their effectiveness can vary, and it's always best to consult with a healthcare provider. If you've just found out you're rocking a Candida party in your system, take a deep breath. It's like having that one neighbor who's a bit too into their karaoke nights. Annoying? Sure. Manageable? Absolutely. There's a whole playlist of treatments to turn down the volume on Candida. Just remember, it's always a good idea to chat with a healthcare provider to find the perfect tune for you.